Welcome Footy Today fans. Today we take a look at Barcelona, who could be heading into serious financial difficulty. The reigning La Liga champions are back in financial trouble, with no immediate avenue to negotiate their way out. With the sun beaming down on him in August 2022, club president Joan Laporta described Barcelona as being out of the hospital. Stood alongside the club's biggest signing of the post-Lionel Messi era, Robert Lewandowski, Laporta clearly felt that the arrival of the Bayern Munich goal machine was a symbol of the club's clear recovery from potential financial ruin. 12 months earlier, Barca were nearing bankruptcy and, presumably, no longer part of Europe's elite. Laporta inherited a club that was over €1 billion in debt, riddled with player-friendly contracts, and defined by its poor performances on the pitch. In his second stint in charge, it was Laporta's job to put things right. A year ago, sadly, we had to announce an unwanted situation as a result of the club's economic situation, but a year has passed and we can say that we are turning things around, he asserted at Lewandowski's unveiling. Laporta's infamous solution was the pulling of a series of economic levers, financial moves that allowed the Blaugrana to deal their way back to relevance on the continent. But 18 months on from Laporta's grin before a packed Camp Nou, it's unclear where Barca's future lies. Their capacity to make further signings has been curtailed, while that summer of spending has, while it admittedly led to a league title, has left Barca with an aging striker and a handful of other signings that haven't quite convinced. Now, Barca don't have any more levers to pull or loopholes to exploit. Reality has caught up, and the club are once again being forced into bargain bin deals and penny-pinching in order to stay competitive in La Liga, never mind the Champions League. The money hasn't dried up, not yet, but it could soon, and Barca seem to be in big trouble. Skeptics claimed that Barca's moves, both on and off the field, were unsustainable. Certainly on field, a look at Barca's results towards the end of the 2022-23 season as they limped over the finishing line suggested as much, as did the loss of veterans Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba. Off the pitch, even amateur economists suggested that the Blaugrana had made risky decisions in the summer of 2022. La Liga rules severely limit club spending power and punish even the most powerful of sides for financial mismanagement. Laporta's levers were a novel thing, but didn't sit too well with the watchful eyes of La Liga president Javier Tebas, who in turn cracked down on the club's ability to pull off similar moves in 2023. Tebas also refused to accept theoretical payments from Barcelona's investors. In effect, Barca should have seen their wage bill stay the same. Instead, La Liga decreased their spending power from €649 million to €270 million, €450 million less than Real Madrid's and slightly below Atletico Madrid's, too. And perhaps that was Laporta's biggest miscalculation. The Barca president had a publicly fractious relationship with Tebas, and any assumed goodwill based on what Barca bring to the table from a marketing standpoint has disappeared. Never was that more clear than with the Blaugrana's failed attempt to re-sign Messi. Laporta spent months piecing together a financial package and strategy to impress Tebas and convince him that Barca could afford to sign Messi when his Paris Saint-Germain contract ran out. The details of the deal have not been made public, but the so-called viability plan was never signed off on, and in the end, the club couldn't guarantee to Messi that he would be registered. The Argentine swiftly signed for Inter Miami instead. In terms of how Barca have handled their finances of late, they have largely come across as a club in control, at least to those who may only hold a passing interest. Both Gavi and Ronald Araujo have been signed to long-term contracts and successfully registered. Brazilian wonderkid Vitor Roque, meanwhile, has arrived from Atletico Paranaense and will slowly be integrated into the team as the presumptive heir to 35-year-old Lewandowski. There are no imminent departures to worry about, either. But bigger issues loom. The investors in Barca Studios haven't met their payment promises, with Orpheus Media notably short nearly €40 million of what they owe to the club. Tebas, meanwhile, has shut down the potential of any more financial irregularities or shortcuts. There are no immediate signs that their spending cap will be lifted ahead of next season, either. Once again, then, Barca may have to look inwardly at an expensive squad and how they can use it to raise funds. Club captain Sergio Roberto, who recently had his salary increased, could be in line to leave this summer. Rafinha is expensive at €240,000 per week and admittedly expendable given the emergence of Lamine Yamal, could also be on the chopping block. There remains a question mark over Araujo's future too, with numerous outlets reporting that Barca are resigned to the possibility that a 9-figure bid from Bayern Munich will lure their best defender to Bavaria in the summer. That will certainly clear some cash, but Barca will end up a worse team as a result. Results on the pitch, meanwhile, have been poor. Barca were battered by Madrid in the Spanish Supercopa final last weekend, while in La Liga they are 8 points behind surprise leaders Girona. On current form, a deep Champions League run looks unlikely, too, with Xavi coming under increasing pressure. Put succinctly, there isn't much optimism to be found. Should results get so bad that Xavi is sacked, then an expensive payout would be required, as well as an even pricier deal for a new manager to come in, especially if the Blaugrana have their eye on someone from Europe's elite. There also remains the frightening reality that this squad is aging in key areas. Lewandowski is enduring his worst season in years, and with no immediate signs of improvement, he could soon become an expensive veteran, under contract until 2026. Barca might just be inclined to accept Saudi Pro League money in the summer, should it arrive for the Poland forward. Ter Stegen, too, is the wrong side of 30 and recovering from a back operation. Loan signings João Cancelo and João Felix, meanwhile, have offered varying degrees of value, but their additions on a permanent basis would be both expensive and misguided. Barca, then, broke the system in 2022. They saved themselves from financial ruin by finding loopholes and created room to build a squad capable of winning La Liga. Their manager, an uninspiring figure for his first 9 months on the job, looked like an elite boss for the next 12. They locked down homegrown players, made some shrewd additions, and won the league for the first time in 4 years. But if football is about sustainability and success over time, then Barca have fallen short. There was always a sense that the Blaugrana had sacrificed long-term prosperity for immediate medal-winning pursuits. Still, things weren't supposed to catch up with them so quickly. And now, with results on the downturn, a squad deteriorating in key areas, and a president who has seen his capacity to spend his way out of it limited, it seems Barca may have sacrificed too much, too soon. They may have avoided bankruptcy and grabbed their trophy, but financial ruin could be closer than ever.